Well, hello and welcome to Click Spotlight. And the spotlight today is firmly held on Maria Phillips, Regional Head of APAC Operations. Welcome, Maria, and thank you for being part of Click Spotlight.
Hi, John. Thanks very much. Nice to be here.
So, describe your career journey then, Maria, and what brought you to Click?
Good question. I had an interesting career journey. I actually started my career off as a software engineer, as a programmer, and I made my way through that up into project management for a long time for development projects. I then realized I had a knack of working with people and moved from that into more of a software company space and started to work in the pre-sales area.
Interesting.
And from there into consulting, project management, into then a number of business development roles, new product introduction, and I found my way into operations about 8 years ago. And when I set eyes on Click, it looked like a really great place to join and a place where I could add a lot of value to help them grow.
Excellent. That's quite a career journey, isn't it? Very interesting. So, yeah, like me, I was in pre-sales for a while before I got into this. So, no, fascinating. So, for anyone who doesn't know, just explain your role in a little more detail. What do you do at Click?
Sure. It's a very broad title. I think the initial scope as such was just to help run sales operations, look at forecast, pipeline, manage our Salesforce.com for all our deals across APAC and all the rest of that. But it's also planning, it's go-to-market strategy, it's compensation for the team, and it goes on. With all those things comes more planning in the field
Yeah,
as well.
that's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes.
So would Simon be your equivalent in the UK then? Am I right in thinking that?
Actually, Gareth Bowen and Jack Garippa are
Oh,
my two
Gareth.
peers, and
Okay.
yeah, in this role for the other
Mm.
two geos.
So you've got a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of sometimes different things, strands that you're pulling on with your role. What challenges do you face, particularly in the APAC region?
We find in APAC that, well, we always want to do more. And
Mm.
there's a couple of things I'd say going on is trying to keep the team focused on the plan as they
Yeah.
get really creative. And that's why we like our salespeople. We want them to be creative, but sometimes we've got to
Mm.
keep them on track. And probably one of the other challenges is that we've had some change in the team and all the rest of
Mm.
that. So that always comes with, all right, let's start this again. And then with that, we get a different style. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, fascinating. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that you're always going to have challenges. I mean, and this is not on your list of questions, so apologies for asking it. But how have you found that transition then, the subscription transition, and also SaaS as well? How is that? Has it been an easy journey, or are you facing any challenges with that?
Right. Well, we had a bit of an introduction dip into subscription last year
Mm.
with the business, and I think a lot of our team members have worked with that before and in previous companies and
Okay.
such. For Click, moving into subscription, it was initially a change in pricing model, so the team
Mm.
struggled with, okay, it's a change in price model, we understand that, but what else can we have to go with that? And I think the true SaaS story has emerged this year,
Yeah.
and the team is really embracing that and trying to build from there.
Mm. So that's good, and also good that you're bringing in experience. They've been through this before, so people are coming in and
Mm.
have done this thing as well. So with that aside, have you got particular focus at the moment? Something that is top of your to-do list?
Top of my to-do list is I have a new RVP in the region,
Of
so
course, yes.
when I mention change in people, well, that's the biggest one that affects my
Mm,
day-to-day because that's who I'm here to support in terms of making sure we find success in the business and we support the teams the way they need
mm.
it.
Yeah, I've got to speak to Jeff about getting a spotlight with him actually, because I tried to find him at Connections, but I don't know. Were you at Connections? I don't think you were you?
I
No.
wasn't this year. I was in Alaska on
But it,
holiday.
oh, oh, okay. But it was well, much different to Dallas, obviously, and yeah, that's you couldn't get
Mm,
two places further apart, could you? Alaska or Dallas? But it was an amazing event, but very, very busy. So to actually track people down was, yeah, was
I
hard work. So
imagine like
yes, yes,
FKO, right, in Barcelona this year. Yeah, I was there.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and that is when you talk about that change now. So when Jeff is now up running that in
Mm,
itself is a complete change for you, isn't it? Because you're now working with someone else and may have different ideas, different ways of
right.
working, etc. So
Mm.
it's a bit of juggling there for both of you, I presume.
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. And obviously,
Mm.
each person has their style, which is great. And Jeff's from Australia, and so am I. So this is working out. But not that it wouldn't if we weren't, but
No,
still,
of course
I
not.
better say that. But obviously, what's nice is with a new leader is also a fresh energy
Yeah, yes.
to make things right where they weren't, or none of us are perfect at making sure every aspect of the business
Mm,
was in its best shape. So a fresh set of eyes on the business is really
yeah,
encouraging, and I really like the energy.
excellent. Yeah, that's very good indeed. So, okay, so subscription we've spoken about, and the next question was going to be that, but I've answered it too soon about around that. But as part of subscription, do you find people have done it before, that's fine. But do you find that the education of people that maybe haven't done that before is that an easy? Is it just like saying, okay, we're not now doing perpetual, we're doing subscription, but is that journey to sell in that way? Is there a lot of education involved for the people that maybe haven't gone through that before?
I believe yes, because it's you're switching from a CapEx to an OpEx store, and
Yeah.
you're also there's a lot of customers and also our own staff
Mm.
in this part of the world, in some of our countries, that still want to hold on
Yeah,
to,
of
I need to
course.
own
Mm.
it and I need to own it forever.
Yeah.
Whereas
Mm.
if we look at the life cycle of software and how often it's upgraded or replaced, or it's, the
Mm.
story is so strong to move to subscription. It's clear that it's going to be better for them, but
Yeah.
it's letting go of that they own it and they own it forever,
Mm.
even though
Yeah.
it may not be usable forever, particularly, if by chance it's not
And
maintained.
that's a mindset change, isn't it? And
Mm,
and that's another thing about the APAC region I find fascinating is that it's so diverse. So
that's
you may
right.
have different problems in China that you
Mm.
have in Singapore or Japan or and they are so diverse that must be very interesting, but also challenging on its own.
Right. And in some countries, there's parts of China where the customer, if we would let them, would want to pay in cash, right? So this
Oh,
is, you're
really?
dealing with
Yeah.
several layers of
Ah.
tradition here before you even
Mm,
get to the topic of subscription.
mm,
Um, but more than anything, I think where our challenge is and what we need to improve is we want to sell a multi-year subscription
yeah.
and not just flip it to, let's try this for a year and all the rest of it. Um, the multi-year subscription story is the strong one. And with
Mm,
that, we need to do more planning and work together with our customers and see what their goals are and align to those visions to
mm.
make sure that that sticks.
Okay, one last, well, not one last question, but one again, not on your list, so apologies for springing it on you, but I know you'll be all over this. Attunity, how has that been received? What kind of feedback are you getting about that acquisition?
Our team can't wait to get their
Yeah,
hands on the Agility
yeah.
solution and get involved. We just last week, we had a presentation from the Agility stakeholders, and it was very well received
Mm,
by all our management team across APAC and the sales leadership team. And we've also had an exchange of the customer base so that we can know where we can
oh,
work
fantastic.
together. The
Yeah.
teams are eager to work on new opportunities together, and they really see it's such a complementary piece onto
Mm,
our portfolio.
yeah, that's been generally been the reception on that, and yeah,
Mm.
I've got a fantastic acquisition and just yeah,
Yes,
brilliant,
very
brilliant.
nice.
Okay, so we're gonna move on a little bit now. I'm gonna change tack, and we're gonna get on to finding a little bit more about Maria. So Maria, how all this work that you do, it sounds like your head must be buzzing, but everyone needs some downtime. So how do you relax?
Um, relax is
Yes,
rest is one thing, relax is
rest,
another.
mate. Yeah, whichever. I don't mind.
So, well, to keep myself A, energized and B, raring to go in my job, which is, very demanding from the minute
Mm,
I get into the office, usually quite fully booked for the entire day, which can be
mm.
quite exhausting. I run 3 times a week,
Oh, nice. What distance?
approximately 5 kilometers per
Ah,
run.
excellent.
And I do a lot of thinking when I'm on those runs,
Mm,
and it just brings, whether it's the circulation in the body that triggers this, or it's just the change of scenery, I find that my, 150 to-dos
yeah.
are brought to some level of clarity as to their priority and what needs to be done in what order in order to
Yeah.
combat
It's
what's
only because
ahead.
some people, I mean, you obviously think about work when you're relaxing, but some people will just completely, completely switch off or listen to music or something. But running does give you, there is that tranquility
Yeah,
around it, I think, and
I
whether
don't
it's
think
the
about
release of the
work.
endorphins or whatever that's
Hmm.
doing it, it's yeah, it gives you
It's
that.
not 100% work the whole
No.
run. So that all happens, and when
Yeah.
that's in order, I can relax. So I think that's the point I
Ah,
needed to
yeah.
arrive to.
Mm.
And I have a 9-year-old son, so we run around a lot, and we really enjoy each other's company. And
Nice.
yeah, and cooking
Excellent.
is actually my favorite pastime. So
Ah, well,
I'm
that was the
very
next
relaxed
question. You've
when
segued
I'm
very
cooking.
nicely into the next question is can you cook and what is your signature dish?
Oh, I love to cook.
Mm.
We'll cook all the time. My signature, I have a lot of dishes, but I would say my signature dish is probably with my Greek heritage, a spanakopita,
Ah.
which is a spinach pie.
Ah, yes, no, I like
Mm,
my wife makes that. It's very nice indeed. Very nice
yes.
indeed. Yeah. So are you more sweet or more savory person? What would you
Very
prefer?
savory,
Yeah.
actually, easy. Yeah.
Yes, and also the Greek the Greek the little pistachio oh what's the name of the sweet it's got honey in it and
Baklava, I think is where
ah
you're
clever.
going.
I love that stuff. I love it. It's yeah, they're
I
very
need
nice indeed.
to I need to hold you up on a technicality though. The Greeks make it with walnuts. It's the
Ah.
Turkish and the Arabs that make it with pistachios.
Oh, there you go. I have learnt something.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah,
So
well, I
now
love
you
it
can
anyway.
tell
If
the
it's walnuts
difference.
or pistachios, it's yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay. Now, name a film that you have watched more than once and why.
Um, Redemption was my favorite film that I watched several times.
Yeah.
It was just, why did I like it? I think just the
Mm.
perseverance and
Yeah.
the ability to, stick to that long-term goal, I thought was
Mm.
amazing. Very impressive,
Yeah,
despite
that
the
answer has come
challenges.
up more than once, and you can see why, because it is an amazing film.
Mm.
And I likened it to Green Mile with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
That yeah, amazing film. So I can understand that. So okay, we're gonna roll the clock back, not too far.
Okay.
But favorite subject at school? What did you excel at when you were at school? A lesson that you look forward to going into.
I found physics to be
Ah.
just natural.
Mm.
I liked my mathematics and stuff, and maybe that's what fed into the physics topic, but absolutely loved physics. Um, did not like chemistry. That was completely the opposite.
It very much depends on the teacher as well, doesn't it? If you've got a good teacher, but physics, like you, I thought physics was it's about life basically, isn't it?
Yes, it
It's
made
amazing.
sense,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
something that you could apply to
Mm.
life. Exactly that. I think that's why it appealed to me.
Excellent. Okay, so 2019, we're now into June, so we're halfway through 2019. But what plans do you have, both click and personal, for the rest of the year?
With Click, obviously,
Mm.
I'm keen to see the new energy that we're having here at the APAC
Yeah.
level spread across our whole team, and there's various events that are coming together in order to do that, to regroup the team and really, give it a go as to what do we need to do to be better. And
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how that pans out and to be also part of that journey and support the journey. On the personal front, it's a good question. My job hasn't left me enough time to think about the personal front.
Well, are you going on holiday this year? You must be taking a vacation.
I am, and I've just come back from it in Alaska.
Of
That's
course
kind
you
of a
have.
big
Alaska.
item on the bucket list.
How was that?
So
How was that?
it was awesome. It was for anyone who hasn't been to Alaska before. The timing right now is the spring, so the forests were green, the mountains were still covered in snow, so it was just absolutely stunning.
And the temperature difference between there and where you are now must have been quite amazing as
30
well.
degrees difference, Celsius.
Yeah. So you're just getting back into Singapore weather now.
Yes,
So
that's right.
okay.
Yep.
Well, Maria, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, and I do appreciate everyone who comes on the spotlight. I know it sometimes isn't the most comfortable experience because the spotlight is on you, but it's been an exceptional interview. I've enjoyed every second of it. Hopefully, come out to Singapore at some point next year, and then we can go out and have a beer somewhere. That would be
You'd be
lovely. So
very
thanks for taking
welcome, John.
part. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.